And welcome everybody to the February 4th weekly recap. With me, as always, is George, except for last week, which he did a fantastic job running solo. I don't think he missed me, but too bad. Now you got
Always missed, brother. Always missed, man.
me. So, Georgie, man, it's been an active week. Why don't you just set us off, man?
Sounds good, man. We had a couple big shooters drop off the ladder. Chris Teely and another guy, Charlie Harrison. They're both 70 plus shooters. Kind of sucks to lose them, but you know what? Like it is what it is. I know Chris has got some personal stuff going on. Charlie never ended up challenging anybody, so I think somebody added him to the ladder, and he just didn't really. I guess he just really wasn't into it or whatever. So he jumped off the ladder. Kind of sucks losing a couple big shooters like that, but it is what it is. Yeah, so we'll after this, I'm going to end up adding a couple new players to the ladder. So welcome to them. And yeah, as for matches that we've had, there's been a lot of movement, but not a lot near the top of the ladder. Well, we've still got these guys that are still climbing. So Mike Dever had a couple matches. I think one of his matches was just that I've got written down here was just a match for fun, but still, he still shot phenomenally, right? So Mike Dever played Jerry. Jerry actually took the first leg off him with a 65 average. So that probably put Mike in his place a little bit, and he realized he needed to smarten up, and and he won the next 6 legs straight with us with a I don't remember what Mike's average was in that one. It had to have been up there. Well, sorry, what was that?
Who did he play? Jerry, you said?
He played Jerry, yeah. Mike Dever against Jerry.
Oh, okay.
That was like one of the first matches since the last recap.
Oh, got it.
Right. But then I think this was just a play match, but it just gives an idea of like, number one, what Mike can do, but also this new guy, Javon Roberts. He threw a 70 average against Mike. So Mike threw a 76, but it was back and forth between the two of them, right? So we'll keep an eye on this Javon Roberts and see if he keeps putting up like the same type of numbers, right? So
I mean, that specific match you mentioned, right? 76 for Dever, and Javon had 70.
Yep.
Right? And looking at the max legs or max darts thrown in a leg, it was only 24. So it ranged, yeah. So it ranged between I don't know, probably like I think it might have been 18 or something like that. But the max leg was 24 darts. So
that's crazy.
Eight turns and either you're out or you're out.
Yeah, exactly, right.
So, but no, great shooting, man. Looking forward to other matches. We know that and those were actually close matches. It wasn't one of those like, oh, the person got 117 out and all of a sudden, I'm like 200 left and it makes me look like I got a 70. No, it was like a real average 70. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Yeah, kudos to them.
And then Mike Dever again played just either yesterday or today. He played Brian H. We're just going to go with the last initials, Brian H. And he threw a 69 average in that one too. So Mike's making the climb. He's going to be up there playing against the top guys in no time. He's really running through the ladder right now.
He's another top shooter, man. He's one of those guys that like who's going to give Teals a run for his money too.
Yeah. So. Unfortunately, Chris was one of the guys that dropped off the ladder, right? So we're not going to really see that match. But there's other guys that are going to, like this new guy Breyer that I'm about to talk about. Like he's gonna get up there and he's gonna give these guys a run for their money as well, right? He played Brad H, and he won 6 straight with a 65 average. And then he played Tom Thomas. Again, these guys are down near the lower of the ladder. Breyer's brand new to the ladder, right? So, but still, putting up these numbers against weaker players is always impressive, right? So he played Tom as well. Another one 6 straight with a 64 average.
Yeah.
Right? So another guy that we're just going to keep an eye on and see where he ends up, right?
No. Maybe we'll get him on a show one of these days or something. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll work something.
We'll see what we can do.
It's always good to hear from up and coming folks,
Yep, definitely.
Love to hear that.
Another really good match was Michael Lee against Michael Lee or Michael Law. No, it's Matt Law and Michael Lee. Michael Lee against Jay Sherman. They
Yeah.
both threw mid 50s averages, and it was back and forth. If I had to try and remember off the top of my head, I believe like one of them, it was like 3-1 in the first set. Someone swept the next one, and then Michael Lee finished it off in the last leg.
There were 4 70+ legs in there. So there was a couple of like 70, 74 legs, 75s in that.
Oh, really? Eh?
Yeah. They went at it, man. It was like a back and forth. Some really good numbers, man. I get excited when I see those 70 legs. You know?
Yeah, they're so good, right?
Yeah. And I'm telling you right now, I know we always mention certain teams, certain people like top of the ladders or like the hot shooters. Man, everybody's putting really good numbers. There's always at least one leg that surpasses double their average.
Yep.
So like you have some folks who are like in the mid 30s or so. They're shooting 59 legs. Like so keep it going, man. I love seeing that. I love seeing that.
I'm loving seeing the improvement in players, right? Like seeing new numbers from, like there's one on here. I'm gonna quickly run through and Brad Willett. He threw up a 62 average over 4 games. It was just one set, right? Because it was broken up like
Yeah.
two of them were on one, and then the other one. But yeah, 4 games, 62 average. That's phenomenal.
That was
That's
against Mike, right?
against Mike Dartley. Yep. Yeah. So it's good to see those numbers coming out of guys that you just don't expect it from. You know what I mean? Like these guys are starting to put up, like these guys are improving. People are improving on the ladder, which is amazing to see. What else? Sorry, say again?
You played, didn't you play this?
Oh, geez. Let's not talk about that.
Listen, you got the W.
I got the W. I played Ron Mann. Yeah, and I finally got a W. It's been a while.
We'll leave it at that, but it's where like I said, a W is a W, and
Yep.
you made your mark. So you defended your position at that point, right?
That was a defense. I've defended my only W's in the last 10 matches have all been defenses. Okay. I haven't won a challenge in a while. So
fair enough.
Neil Curran was like, I'm predicting like mid 50s average from you, and you're going to go on a streak of like X amount of games. Like I see it coming for you. And I'm like, God, I hope so. Right. But he's like, hey, you got the win. He's like, I was half right. And I was like, all right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, kudos to our boy Neil. I was actually, we're shot a best of 9 earlier just for practice, and it's always great seeing him. It's always great talking to him.
Yeah, definitely.
I got one here that I felt was a pretty good battle. It was between was it Matthew? Yeah, Matt Bell and Michael T.
Yeah.
With Matt Bell taking the win, but man, there were when I'm talking about like a dart away, there was only one of those legs that one of them was on a kind of 39, and the other ones were like on a 10 and an 8, like a dart away or a shot away from it. That had to be a good match.
Yeah. He's my dark horse. You know what I mean? Like when we talked a while ago, or maybe it was me and you, it might have been somebody else, and they were like, "There's got to be somebody like a sleeper on the ladder." Who's your sleeper? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's Matt Bell. Like the guy came onto the ladder throwing like high 30s. And then he was like, he's the guy that told me, he's like, man, he's like, I'm going to be up there. I'm going to be up there throwing with the big dogs in no time. He's like, I used to play a lot of darts. He's like, it's just a matter of getting back into practice. And he's gone from high 30s to low 40s to mid 40s and now he's throwing in the mid 50s. And he just sent me another match report that he's in the 60s now. And he said he's had a couple of them. He's had a couple matches where he's gotten 60 averages. We're talking like a month of playing, a month of being back playing again. You know what I mean?
Muscle memory, right? Because you say he used to play with back in the days, so
yep,
he's got that muscle memory back. That's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. We're gonna keep an eye on him for sure because like I said, he's gonna make some waves up at the top. I can already feel it. What else do we got here, bud? Doug over Real. Real.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And Real just calling out whoever he can. You know what I mean? Like phenomenal. But Doug took that one with a 60 average. Real still got a couple legs off of him, but Doug took that one fairly easily. But
There was a 107 in that one. Doug threw a 107 leg in that one.
nice.
Yeah.
These guys can throw, man. These guys, they're just like you, man. Like you put up numbers like that. You know what I mean? So
Man, don't even get me started. I haven't. I'm looking at him the board. We had a couple of. It was nice to see our girl Debbie play.
Yep.
She played. And let me see. I was looking at. I had her notes here. I had her highlighted because I was so happy to see that she was able to play. Wow, I can't believe I lost.
She did, like, her last match she lost, but I think the match before that she won. Right.
Yeah.
She just called out Kat. And when she called out Kat, she's like, I've never been higher than you on the ladder. She's like, I'm coming for you.
Yeah, she shot well. She shot well. She shot like a 44 that game, which is pretty good. I mean, that was like a 44 to a 44. So it also came down to you know, close darts. You know, so
Yep.
it's nice to see that.
For sure.
What else you got, George?
Roy Walls got a win over Chow. I'm pretty sure it was probably 6 straight. He threw a 60 average. Chow's like mid to high 40s kind of guy. Like every once in a while he's in the 50s, but competing with Roy Walls when he's throwing 60 averages is that makes for a quick set, right?
Yeah.
Shane got a win. Did we talk last week about Shane losing to Bob T?
You mentioned it.
Yeah. I thought it was, I didn't remember talking about it last time. And as I was scrolling through all the match reports, I was like, it's not here. So yeah, we must have talked about it last time. But he's back in the win column now with a 63 average over Rusty Annette, Christopher Rusty Annette. Yeah, he threw a 55 average. So like that's decent. But again, like playing against 63. You have the match report in front of you?
No, I don't. I wrote it down that he did shoot a 63 and
Yeah.
never shot a 55.
But he took a couple legs off him anyways, so I know that. Closer to the top, we got Daniel Vigil beat Ian Crew. And Ian was just coming off of a nice win too, so I was kind of hoping that Ian would continue with like the high 50s averages that he was throwing. But he ended up throwing a 53 average this time. And Daniel Vigil was up at a 59. So even if he could have thrown like a 56, 57, he could have competed with him a lot more. But yeah, so Daniel Vigil's getting up there because Ian's got to be in the top 20. So that puts Daniel Vigil now into the top 20. I don't have it in front of me. Like I've been so busy the last little bit. I didn't even have time to print off anything. But if this has got to be pretty close to accurate. 24th. He was in 24th. Ian was in 24th. He jumped up one, so Daniel's probably like.
Ian is 21 now.
Ian is?
Yeah, Ian is 21 right now.
So that puts Daniel Vigil at 19?
18.
18? Yeah, so top 20 now for Daniel Vigil. He's going to be up there real quick.
What else do we have over here? On the lower part of the ladder, I know Cole W, just because we don't want to butcher anybody's name. Played Amanda, and Cole took the win. But there were a lot of darts thrown in there, and once again, you could tell it was one of those like, oh man, I can't hit that one out, down to like to a single one. So there was some that had to be an interesting match. There was one leg though where they threw a lot of darts. 74 darts were thrown to win that leg. So I'm pretty sure their shoulders were sore after that.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
But hey, listen, man, we all go through those things, and that's how we get better too. We find a rhythm in one of those games, and you don't think you don't make much of it, but you learn during those legs, man. You really do. So keep it up.
Yep. Where else were we? Ray Douglas, who also goes by Ray Horwick when you challenge him online.
Oh,
Yeah, on Dart Connect, he's Ray Horwick.
yeah,
But Ray Douglas put up some good numbers too, a 64 average over Eric Fawn.
yeah.
Um,
My
so
boy,
yeah,
Eric. Yeah, Eric threw an 83 leg in there, I think, or one of
oh
them.
yeah,
Yeah, one of them threw an 83 leg in there. It's nice to see.
for sure, for sure. And then we were just talking about Brad Willett throwing the 62 average. That was phenomenal against Mike Dart League. Matt Bell taking the 50 average against the 55 average against Michael Teckenhorst. Close to the top, we got Brian Belbraddock played Kyle B. Kyle B was challenging Brian. And I really didn't know which way this one was going to go, right? Because they can both throw mid 50s averages. But Brian threw a 54 average, around 54, and Kyle B was around 48, right? So Kyle really didn't shoot as great as what he wanted to shoot, right? So
Still working on that throw though.
yeah. No, that's Kyle Glennersma.
Oh, that's sorry. That's Kyle G. Sorry, that's
Yeah,
Kyle G.
yeah. Who also got a match in the like last minute match right before we came on the air.
Oh.
He played Miles. They both threw 57 averages, and Miles took the win. Yeah. So that was a little surprising. I really would have given the edge to sorry, Miles. I would have given the edge to Kyle there, but you know what? Miles can throw. So yeah.
Good thing you're not a betting man, huh?
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, I've gotten a few of these wrong. Like, yeah. I would have same with this next one. A game of sweeps. Dave Curry against Dustin. Sorry, Dave. I would have put my money on Dustin.
Nah, man. That's see. I don't know. I mean, you know what? You know, I love me some Dustin, man. That's my boy. But David, yo, I played enough against him to be like, yo, he could just turn on like this, man. He'll start dropping 140s on you without you even realizing like it.
Yep. They can
So
both throw. They can definitely both throw. Dave ended up throwing with a 61 average in that over
yeah,
Dustin,
yeah. And
right?
that's
Again,
that's his real number, I think too. I think that's his real number.
really, eh?
Yeah, I really do. I mean, every time I shot him, he shot in that range.
That's
Every time.
amazing.
Every time. So
Because for ladder matches, I don't think I've seen 60 plus from him.
no, man, he's that's I really believe that's a real number for him.
Yeah. Eh?
Yeah.
Nice, nice. Well, if he keeps throwing like that, he's going to be up into the top 10, right? So
That's
I
a real,
don't know where he's at right now. He just beat Dustin, so he's like in like around 13th, depending on how accurate this sheet is. I know it's a little bit off right now, but
well, right now you have him at 15, but
15. Okay, there we go. I knew it was somewhere in there. I just didn't know exactly.
all right, any additional or honorable mentions?
Well, last match that I'm going to talk about is Kirk Hess over Tim Sheck. That match has been a long time coming, but they finally got the match in. They both threw 57 averages, but it was a very close match. I didn't have time to put down like the numbers and stuff. I just got the averages, but yeah, they a little bit of a battle back and forth, and Kirk Hess edges them out and holds on to his like number 4 spot or something like that. So is that right?
I have one that I say honorable mention because I was actually surprised by this. I played Lorenzo a couple of times, and I always enjoy playing with him. He's a fierce competitor. But he edged over Kirk Maine, which that was
Yep.
I was really surprised about that.
You
But
and me
you know,
both.
I mean, Lorenzo even in there, he got a 75 leg in there, and Kirk got a 79 leg in there. You know, I highlight that because if you could hit it once, it's possible. It is in your game to do so.
Yep.
You know, so I do firmly believe that is the main reason why I pull those out is to encourage, like, man, you hit it once, you're gonna hit it again, and then next thing you know, you're gonna see it twice in one match report, and then you're gonna see it 3 times, and next thing you know, your averages are going up, and then that's how things work, man.
Yep.
So it was nice seeing that. Those
Yeah, definitely. Well, I want to see Kirk winning, right? Because again, he's one of the guys that I'm kind of looking at being like, this guy can surprise people. I think this guy is going to surprise people.
He's an OG too, so
Exactly, right?
he's an OL, an original ladder. her.
Yeah.
But thank you, George, for the recap. You know, we always enjoy and highlighting a lot of the matches. But we do have a special guest today.
Yep.
Today we do have a player highlight, and I'll tell the directors to kind of bring this special guest in. And how do you want to do this? You want to introduce him?
Yeah. So his name's Briar. He's low on the ladder, just came on the ladder. But like I was saying during the recap, like we're going to keep an eye on this guy because he's already throwing up against lower average players. He's throwing up like mid 60s averages, right? So I can only see those numbers going up when he runs into guys like yourself, Gonzalo, Mark Buckley, Kirk Hess, all these guys that are near the top of the ladder. Like he's going to throw up some good numbers, right? So,
Right.
yeah,
So
excited to see where he goes.
welcome, Briar, man. Welcome to the weekly recap.
Well,
Here
thank y'all
with,
for having me. I appreciate it.
no, man, it's always good to get to know the players in the ladder, and we're excited. We came up on the report or on the recap with some good numbers, and why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about yourself? Tell us a little bit about Briar and the little dart stories, or your dart.
I'm 19 years old. I'll be 20 in 2 weeks. So I've been playing darts since I was about 8 years old. Just playing around at the house with my dad, and I joined the Texas County Dart Association League when I was 9, and just been playing in it since forever, since till now, and just go on to tournaments here and there, and showing people that I can play darts for such a young age, and surprising a lot of people, and then talking to people and boosting my confidence up to go to more and more tournaments around the world. So it's kind of just how I started playing more.
Wow. So you're 8 years old, huh?
8 years old when I started playing kind of more than normal, really.
So
That's
how was it?
amazing.
Yeah, how was it then playing like with the adults, right, or with the seasoned players? How are
I
you
mean,
able to handle that?
I was definitely outnumbered by age, honestly, but a lot of people told me, like, man, you don't have a lot of stuff going on. You're just a young kid. All these other guys are, older, just got off work that day and they got a lot on their mind. And I just got a free lounge here to hang out and throw darts. So really wasn't a lot of pressure at first. I kind of understood the pressure coming into it. But for the most part, I was just there to hang out with dad and have fun. That's really all it was.
All
That's
right,
amazing, man.
that's fair. So how did you like your Coke, with ice or no ice?
No ice.
That's cool. So what's your hometown? Where you
My
from?
hometown, it's a little town called New Boston, Texas, but you probably know the general area. Texas County, Texas is the northeast corner you can get in Texas. So,
Okay,
from Texas County, yeah.
nice. And you mentioned that like you've traveled like quite like all over the world throwing darts. Like, is that what you said?
Yeah, when I was 18, I think I was 17. It was 2021. I qualified with the CDC, and they take the top 4 kids out of 2 weekends to represent the JDC World Cup.
Wow.
And the first weekend was in Tampa, Florida, and I kind of took a break from traveling. I went to Stanford, Connecticut to play in the ADO Nationals, and I went to Charlotte, North Carolina, and did good in those tournaments. But just it was just a lot of money for a tournament, and my parents didn't have the money to just keep funding me for these tournaments all the time unless I was doing really well to win. And I was a good dart thrower for Texas, but when I got over there, started playing those kids that play in the Northeast all the time. I mean, I was good, but I'm not really I could be that good at the time, but I just didn't put in the hours that they did really. But I told my parents, I was like, look, I'm 17, I'm about to limit out of the youth. Kind of want to go on one more little run, one more little youth tournament, and I went to the CDC route. Hadn't went that route before. Did everything else with ADO. Now I did the CDC, and they took the top 4. And my dad pretty much he told me, he was like, look, you got a better shot going the CDC route. You take the top 4, you're gonna make the team. So I went to Tampa, and at the end of Tampa weekend, played Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday. At the end of the weekend, I was first over all the kids, and we wasn't planning on going the next tournament was in Nashville, Tennessee, and it was 2 weeks later, and that was that's a lot of money for one tournament, and then 2 weeks later go spend a lot of money on another tournament.
For
And
sure.
my parents told me, they're like, look, we're not going to go to this tournament. Like, we was just coming to Florida. Like, but then we started talking to, I don't know if you know her. Her name's Erin Quinn. We started talking to Erin, and she was like, look, your son's going to be on the team if he just shows up. You get points just from showing up. Just be on, like, he will be on the team. He's in first place. The worst he can do is drop to fourth. If he just shows up and just plays, I mean, he's good. He can play and compete and for sure guarantee a spot. But I got a good chance he's going to be on the team just from showing up from points. So my dad kind of was ate up about it. He was like, "Look, I don't want to miss out on this once in a lifetime opportunity for him." So we got reservations and went to Nashville and played and ended up dropping a third, which still I don't care if I was first, second, third, or fourth. I made the team and we had we had a little while. I think that was in July. So we had till November. It was a week of Thanksgiving when we left. Went to Gibraltar. It's at the bottom of Spain, and it's the best of the best dart throwers, youth dart throwers in the world. We're at in Gibraltar that week. I'm talking about, and when I get to this guy's name, if you watch any of darts or know anything about darts in the world right now in the PDC, you'll know this kid by his name. And it was just such an honor to play against him. But they had England kids there. They had the Netherlands, Wales, and England. One of the guys' name from England is I played against Luke Fiddler, and he was
I've heard this. I heard this name
dart thrower.
before. That's crazy, huh?
And yeah, he hit a 9-darter that weekend. There's a video on YouTube if you look it up. I'm in the background of the video watching him. I was watching on Dart Connect, and he hit a 9-darter on the stream, and it was
That's crazy,
amazing.
man.
But for the recap of how I did over there, they had us all in groups of 4. I think there was 20 total teams, 20 countries or however. Or no, not 20 countries, because there were some teams like England had an England A and an England B. But there were 20 total teams, I remember, and they had us all groups up in 4. And we ended up making it out of our group. I think they take the top 2 out of the group. So if you just do pretty decent, you'll make it out of the group. And then we made it and had to play England. And England was, whitewashing every team, basically. I know the 3 guys on their team. I don't remember the last guy. I racked myself about it, trying to remember his name. But the 3 guys I know of was Leighton Bennett was one of them. Henry Coates and Luke Littler were 3 on that team, and I don't know very much about Henry right now, but Leighton Bennett and Luke Littler will be in the PDC. Luke's already in there, but they're going to be top shots, top dogs in the next few years, no doubt about it. But we go to play England, and the format is all 4 guys from USA play and all 4 guys from England play, and it's the first of 4. So if you split the legs, if you split the teams, you go 2-2, or you got to play doubles. You play 2 doubles matches unless it's 4. And then the last game, sudden death, is all 4 from England, all 4 from USA play 501. And whoever gets that win wins it all. We go down 3-0 against England. I lost my match. And our number 4 guy, James Butler, Larry Butler's son, he ended up picking up the win for us and made us not getting whitewashed. So we had the idea, like, we normally put the number 1 guy ranked on our team to the number 4. And the number 2 and the number 3 together. It's how we've been winning, doing pretty well like that. And we had the idea, like, look, the only way we win right here is if we stack number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. So we did that, ended up picking another win, made it 3-2. And then me and James had to play Luke Littler and another guy that I can't remember his name. I'm sorry, but I can't remember his name. We had to play Luke, and I hit a 180 to leave James on 118. James hits 78 and misses his last dart on 40. It gives me double tops if I get a shot. Luke ended up missing, giving me a shot at 40. I took out 40, won the game, made us to go to sudden death. We were the only team that weekend that I know of to take England to sudden death, the last
That's
leg
amazing, man.
And I had 1 dart in my hand to beat England. I had a shot at 118. And I wired double 20, and I gave James 3 darts at 40, and he missed 3 darts, which, I mean, sometimes you just miss, and they ended up winning it and taking it home, but they ended up winning the whole tournament. But there was no doubt in my mind that if we would have beat England, we would have won. I mean, we were pretty good.
That's awesome. So I mean, listen, aside from being 19, well, let's just say 20, right? Um, Yeah, Tony World the years doesn't sound like much, but the wealth of experience that you have in darting is out of control. So to
Right.
encourage others in the ladder, even myself, I ask this question because I want to learn, I want to better myself. What is something that you took away in that whole experience that
I,
when you were feeling, oh man, I'm not doing well, like being
right.
around the other folks. What did you learn that
I mean,
motivated you?
I definitely practice through the roof for the most part. I I'm not trying to be rude when I say this, but Texarkana, like I was telling you before we got on the live stream, Texarkana darts is not like what it used to. We used to have a lot better competitors, and at the time when I was younger, I was getting hammered, like getting beat constantly. I mean, I was winning matches, but I just kept getting better because I was playing somebody better than me. You play somebody better than you, from what I've learned from playing darts, you play somebody better than you get better. And at the time, I was going. The best time I got better is just going and playing in those tournaments, playing people better than you. Like whenever Mike Dever wanted to play me, I was all so up for it because I looked at his averages. Like I know if he's keeping up high 70 averages, I'm not that good. I mean, I'm keeping up in the 60s, but I may every now and then have a 70 average leg. But if I can play somebody that keeps that 70 average leg, I'm going to get better. So I try my best and encourage people to play better players. Who cares if you get 6-0? You're getting experience and you're getting better. You're keeping up your averages. I guarantee you, if you can play somebody better than you will get better. There's just no doubt in my mind about that. You will get better.
See, that's man. So we haven't been completely wrong there, George. We say that all the time,
Yeah, no kidding, man.
and it shows too. And it shows, like like people are, like you said, people in the lab are getting better. So we look definitely forward to Briar like climbing and I'm gonna have to, now I can say I know a celebrity, uh, so a young celebrity at that. So we're gonna have to get some matches and maybe bring my son who I mentioned a couple of times. George knows, I have an 8-year-old and he's into darts, and and he really shoots and he likes to play. So maybe I'll tap on your shoulder to give him a little word of encouragement, and he's gonna like. Thank you for sharing that, man. That's awesome.
Man,
It's great to hear.
oh yeah, and I encourage every like kid that I see or young, person that I see, like, hey man, throw darts. Like we have look at the draws all the time in my hometown, and I try my best to like encourage people to come. I mean, I don't really not the best at it, but you know, most people enjoy doing luck of the draws. You get paired with somebody good, you get paired with somebody mediocre, and you win a little money out of it. People enjoy it, and I enjoy teaching and coaching people, trying to make them better. It's just I love seeing people like develop better and get better, get a better form, get a better throw. I enjoy seeing people progress their game. That's just what I love to do. If somebody has any questions, I'll be sure to give them what I know. I mean, I'm not saying I'm very educated in the sport of darts, but I can help for the
Oh,
most
I don't
part.
know. I beg to differ so far. I mean, you got more experience than many of us do. So a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
experience. So you know. But Georgie, I'm sorry, I spoke over you.
No, no, no. I was just saying, like, we say the exact same thing, right? Like, the guys on the ladder are so eager to share their knowledge. You know what I mean? And you're the exact same way, right? Like, you got knowledge, you want to share it. You want people to get better. You want to see somebody using the advice that you give them and watching them get better and be like, man, like I had part of that. I have a part in it. You know what I mean? Like, so man, kudos to you. And man, I hope people pick your brain when they're playing against you, man. Like,
And every match that I played, and I think I've only played two, maybe three matches that I know of, but every match that I played, man, both of the guys that I played were very just so humble. Like they weren't rude. They were like, man, good shot. I mean, I was there to like come for them. Like somebody hits like an 87, a 90, something a ton plus. Man, good shot. Man, good shot. Good shot. I mean, you're hanging there. You're doing good. You're doing good. Even with Mike Dever, even though we kind of had audio problems, he couldn't hear me, but that I know of. But every time he took out a 155 on me, I was like, oh my gosh, that was like crazy shot, great shot. And but yeah, Dever hit some high stuff on me, and I was just complimenting him, congratulating him. That's all you can do.
yep,
Even if you're winning or losing out, you win for fun, lose for fun. That's how I see it.
yep,
Yeah, and I gotta say, sometimes we forget that I myself, apologies for all those I played recently. I get caught up in nonsense about not shooting well, and I forget, to somebody shoots a ton, I'm like, I'll say it, but if I'm in my head, I'll be a complete jerk about it. Meaning, like, I won't say nothing or acknowledge it. But it's not because of that. I love seeing people shoot great. It's just, you gotta get caught up in your head.
For sure. People do that all the time. I do the same thing where, like, all of a sudden I'll zone out for a second and I look over and the guy threw a $140 like 2 shots ago, and I'm like, oh, I completely missed that. Nice shooting.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm just caught up in my own head, like trying to figure out like what my out's going to be, or like trying to figure out where I'm going. And I just completely am not like, and people say that you should do that to a degree. Like, don't worry about what they're throwing. Play your game until you get down low and like you're ready to start checking out and stuff. And you got to like evaluate where your opponent's at and what route you're going to be taking. Right. But for the most part, like, throw your game, play your game.
Throw your game. All right. Well, Georgie, we're about that time where we're going to do the speed round. I know that we have some of the questions, and we're going to ask Briar, and he's gonna shoot some answers at us. So why don't you get us started?
All right, sounds good, brother. Briar, who's your favorite dart player? No way.
Look.
Yeah.
Look, he's such a humble guy, man. He's such a nice guy. From all the interviews and talking to him in person, he's cool.
That's wicked, man. That's wicked.
But then, hey, but other than Luke, I will give you a backup. Other than Luke, I really enjoy watching Ryan Searle. Me and my dad, we root for Ryan Searle a lot. It's just crazy. He throws like the heaviest darts I've ever seen in my life, and he's got some problems. I'm not trying to make fun of him and be rude, but he can't really see very well. And man, it's just amazing to see him throw darts as well as he do with that kind of disadvantage.
That's wicked.
Hats off to him, man.
All right. What's your favorite brand of darts?
Man, I like Target. I like some Target darts that I have, but man, what I've been throwing right now, they're my babies, my Slick Widows. I don't even know if that's the right name for them, but they're Black Widows, but they're just smooth Widows, and they're 23 gram. I got long points on them, teardrop flights on them. It's
nice.
Really amazing.
And who makes those?
I think you can get them from A to Z. I could be wrong, but I got them from a buddy of mine that was selling them, and I threw them for a couple of times. He sold them to me for $50, and I had to steal them. There's one right here. I had to steal them up, but this is them right here. They're just Slick Widows, from what I've been told.
Nice. Look at the size of the point on that. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I got.
Yeah, he had to register those with the local authority to be able to throw.
I used to throw really short darts, but now I kind of got into the longer point era. I really enjoy playing with them.
What's the best board on the market?
Best board on the market I would say the triple core Blade 6. I think the triple core Blade 6 is the best from what I've played on. I haven't bought one for my personal use, but just playing on one here and there, they have the triple core in Gibraltar, and I played on the stream board all the time, just practicing when nobody was on it, and that board looked brand new after seeing it. And you see the PDC players play on it. I don't know if they play on triple core, it could be wrong, but you see the PDC players play on that board, and they beat it up, and it still looks
for sure
tip top shape. So
that's wicked.
Can't go wrong with it.
Yeah.
Where the money's at.
Now, the next two questions are kind of based on the ladder, but you've only been on the ladder for a little bit. But we'll eliminate the ladder question. But what's your best win? Who was your best win that you've had?
Man, I think my first challenge was Kirk, I think. I may have butchered that. But I think he was my best win. I dropped 2 legs on him, but my averages were pretty high. Maybe in my second match, I don't know. I had pretty good averages in both games, but I feel like my communication skills with Kurt, I feel like we talked pretty well. He was happy for me. I talked to him after the match, like, "Hey, man, you played really well. I'm sorry. I just threw really well tonight. That's just part of it." And he was like acceptable about it. He was like, he even told us, man, that's how you get better. I mean, that's how you get better at the game, just playing somebody that's throwing higher averages than you. And he agreed. He was like, yeah, man, that's completely right.
I would ask you what your worst loss on the ladder is, but I don't think you've experienced it yet. What's your
Mike Dever lost the mic
in a friendly match? Yeah, that
but if
doesn't
you want to
count.
count that.
What's your highest checkout?
My highest checkout, I've hit a 170 just here and there, but never in a match. But I was warming up for a ladder match actually, and I was playing Dark Connect level 9, and I hit a 164 out. I went trip 19. No, I lied to you. I went trip 20, trip 18, double bull.
Nice, that's solid, man. My highest is 161, very similar. Like, if you're switching triples, it really doesn't matter what the number, in my opinion, what the number adds up to. You know what I mean? Like, a 170 is like triple 20, double bull, in my opinion, is just as good of a score as triple 19, double bull. You're staying on the same target. You know what I mean? As soon as you start switching triples, like my highest is 161, so it was triple 19, triple 18, double bull. Well, that's very equivalent to what you threw with the 164. You know what I mean? You're switching doubles, or you're switching triples, and then doubling out on a bull, which is phenomenal. What's the worst double on the board?
Man, I hate double 5. I'm sorry. I absolutely hate double 5. It's I love leaving myself tops. I love leaving myself double 10. But I know in my head every time I step up to the Aki to throw a double 10 and I hit it, I'm just thinking on mine, don't hit a single. If you're going to hit it, but do not hit a single. If you hit a single, you might as well just throw this leg up in the trash and start over.
I'm taking notes.
Yeah.
And there's so many times if I have 10 left, I'm throwing at the 2. I'm not risking it.
That's phenomenal. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
What's your favorite double on the board? Double 4?
Double 4. Double 4. I love it. Absolutely love it. Double 4 and double 18 have been pretty good for me so far. We're going to stick with them around.
Aside from the ladder, or you can include the ladder if you know some guys on the ladder, but like who do you like facing the most? Is there like a player that you've played against in the past or anything like that? Like,
there's one guy on the ladder that I know of pretty well. He I actually played in Little Rock with him. He's from Little Rock. Chris Berry. He's on the ladder.
Chris Berry's a great guy, man.
Yeah, he's a really good guy. And me and Chris have won some money in Little Rock before. And one of my top 10 core dart memories with him. We was in Little Rock and he had the double bull blocked. And we needed 2 bulls and he snuck it right over and hit a double bull and we won a tournament. And it was a great hit and he was so happy. It was a beautiful shot. It was amazing. But yeah, Chris, I would like to play Chris if I get up there close to the top, but that's a ways away. But Brian, I got Brian in on the Brian Bowman. I got him out in the ladder. He added his brother. So, those guys are from our hometown, and they noticed that I talked to them. Hey man, I'm doing this online thing. I'm kind of liking it. It's a little different, a little neat. I mean, I'm getting better. I feel like since I've been throwing online, I've started throwing a lot better now that I'm kind of done with the whole traveling dart thing. The online league has really gotten me a lot better, and that's what I heard from heard from Alex Bellman. Alex Bellman was talking about that. So
nice. All right. Who do you hate facing? Who is the one that you don't like? If you had to play against someone, you're like, man, this guy's either like he plays slow or he just whoops your ass all the time. You know what I mean? Like, who do you not like playing against?
If I had a negative mindset, I would say Mike Dever, but I would play Mike Dever 100 legs. Like, I want to get better. I want him. Mike Dever's better than me, no doubt about it. And I don't care what he says. Mike Dever's better than me, and I want to keep playing him. I want to play him every day, just about. If he wants to play me, we'll play on stream, off stream. I don't care. I want to get better.
That's awesome, man.
I had a chance to beat him. I fell apart the last set. I had a slow start, fell apart. I had a slow start, picked it up, won the second set, and then fell apart again. So I was a little nervous. I will give it. I will give it to Mike Dever. I was a little nervous on him. He had me nervous.
He can shoot.
Yeah, he's really really good shooter.
Yeah, and a great guy,
Oh yeah, 100%.
Last question, man. What's your darting nickname?
I'm looking for offers.
I mean, I can tell you right now, it's gonna be Briar, too nice guy Redmond. Like he's just too nice, this guy.
When I was in like 4th grade, my friends called me B Man, but I haven't heard that in years. They called me B Man. So I mean, but other than that, I ain't got a nickname.
I think you're the youngest on the ladder. So my first instinct is like Briar the Kid Redmond. Is Redmond, right?
Yeah.
Briar the Kid Redmond.
I think you were gonna go in a direction like Briar the Diaper Redmond or something. I think.
No, I wouldn't insult the guy.
But that's you. That's the difference.
When I was working for a power company for an internship, they called me Big John. My middle name's John. They were like, "Why are you being called Briar? Like, why do they call you Briar?" That's my name. They were like, "Big John's so much better," so they called me Big John. Other than that, I have no nickname. So
there you go, Briar Big John Redmond. I like it.
Other than the names my parents whisper under their breath or out loud, I ain't got no nicknames.
That's awesome, man. But yeah, man, Briar. So I really appreciate you taking the time and talking to us, and like giving us a little bit of a view into your life, man. I mean, and sharing that experience that you had with what's it called? With traveling. I mean, that was awesome to hear. Our producers already put your name up there, so it's official. It's going to be Briar Big John Redmond going forward. So it's written in stone. But yeah, man, it was great. It is great having you in the ladder. I look forward to shooting with you. Hopefully, we'll have some practice sessions and things of that nature.
Sure.
And everybody in the ladder, you see him, say hi, play him, pick his brain, get you, virtual autograph, because I will, and then we'll go from there. Though, thank you so much for joining us once again.
Sure. Thank y'all for having me. Anytime.
Thanks a lot, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Georgie. Once again, thank you very much for what you do. I know it's busy and gets crazy, but you make it happen, man. Thank you very much.
My pleasure, man. My pleasure.
And for all in the ladders, shoot well and God bless you. Have a good night.
Later, guys.